Lock it down. 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 Take advantage of this moment. The traditions have been broken. It doesn't matter where the road went. Full steam, throttle wide open.
Even if I don't know how, one day I will run this town. Maybe I'm just dreaming now. I won't stop till I get it.
Let's go! Do what I do! Work like I still got something to prove! Let's go! All I do! Work like I still got something to prove! Take action! Take action! Take action! Take action! I made myself out of nothing. Isn't that something? And now I have all I wanted. Axes, anchors, 10 years running.
Even if I don't know how, one day I will run this town. Maybe I'm just dreaming now. I won't stop till I get it.
Let's go! Do what I do! Work like I still got something to prove! Let's go! All I do! Work like I still got something to prove! Take action! Take action! Take action!
Hey, and welcome to another touch point that we just started doing. I did the other one the other night, and you haven't seen that one. That's still on the lives under the video. So I encourage you to go check that out. But if you don't know what a touch point is, well, it's clearly me just checking in with you and getting your feedback and seeing what you got going on, and we can have a little discussion here. So if you are new here, please pop in the chat. Let me know that you're new here, and if you have any questions, I'll make sure I get to that towards the end of this episode. But we're still talking about taking action. And I'm going to tell you a little secret that you've been lied to your whole life on how you're going to achieve anything. You've been misled and bamboozled about it. And that's just the honest truth. You know, the truth is that you can make a plan, and that plan itself, it won't accomplish your goals. It's not going to do anything for you. You know, that piece of paper that you wrote that goal out on, it's just a piece of paper. It cannot do anything. And if you put it on like a digital form, on like this cool graphic, on this cool spreadsheet or anything else, that's not going to do anything for you either. If you just leave it there, your goal will not be achieved just because you wrote it down. And a lot of people believe that. Like, if I just write it down and I just write my goals down, then it's going to happen. Well, that's a good start, but it's not true. And then you can think about it. Your brain's a great and powerful tool, right? It's who you kind of are, right? But that's not going to accomplish your goals either. Thinking about getting after something is not truly getting after it, because you're going to wait for the most opportune time to get after something. So if you're going to wait until it's 70 degrees and it's sunshine and it's nice cool breeze outside and there's no stress, guess what? That day will never come, because something is always going to come up. Believe it or not, something else is going to come up and interrupt your plan, because you were waiting for the perfect time. So the perfect time is never, ever, ever going to happen. And if something does happen and falls into your lap, then you were blessed. Truly, you were blessed. Because most things in life, just think about your day today. Today was Monday. It's Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day. And, you know, you had plans. You were going to do stuff. And what happened? Oh, well, it wasn't the right thing. Or, I overslept. Or I was too tired. And you had all these other excuses of why you didn't do something to accomplish one of your goals today. Unless your goal was to do nothing and kind of relax, and you did that, well, good. That is taking action, and you achieve that. But if you just do, then you get moving and you get after it, you're going to achieve your goals. So probably one of the most iconic quotes from a movie that will really resonate and hone this in with you is when Yoda said, no, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. And I say this all the time to my oldest son in college. I'm like, no, you either do it or you don't do it. There is no such thing as trying. You either succeed or you fail at it. And if you fail, that's okay, because you're going to learn from it. And then you're going to do it again, and you're going to get better. But it all comes down to doing. We cannot just say, well, I'm going to try. Well, trying isn't an action. It's a cop-out. It's saying that I'm going to half-heartedly do this thing, but I'm really not going to go in on it. I'm just going to kind of see where it goes. And if it goes in my favor, then yay, I'll count it as a success. And if it doesn't, well, I really didn't mean to do it. Well, then you didn't do it in the first place. Then, the Army used to have this motto in their leadership manuals, and it says, be, know, do. And I think they brought it back. I really do. But it talks about being the person that you need to be, right? And taking care of your physical self, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body and your soul. And then know, right? You got to hone your craft and hone your skills and learn all the things of your trade that you're supposed to know. And then you have to take action on it. Because if you have everything in your head, that's great. That does nobody any good. That does you no good. It at all. It's just there, right? It's just stuff that's there, and there's all these great ideas, but if you don't put into action, then nothing ever happens. And so Pablo Picasso said that action is the foundational key to all success. And he didn't become famous until after, he died and passed away. But if he had all of these awesome art designs and paintings in his head and this new way of doing things that is very abstract, and all the different colors that he was using and the different shapes, well, if he didn't put it on canvas, then you wouldn't know about it. And this quote would be meaningless because he didn't achieve anything. Because he actually put things into action. And that's with anybody doing anything. If you have a goal to be the best basketball athlete, well, you got to put in the work. You got to practice. You got to go to games. You got to play people better than you. You got to do really, really good. You got to fail. And there's a fire truck going down the street, and I have no idea what's going on, but it'll quiet down here in a second. So you've got to put in the foundations, which is success. You've got to, if you want to achieve success, you got to put in the foundations to everything. And of course, now my dogs are barking. So and this is perfect. You can't even make this up, right? Because I waited till my kids were asleep, so it'd be nice and quiet, really no background noise to give you the best experience possible. And what happened? A fire truck drives by, probably waking up my kids right now, and my dogs are barking. But it's okay because we're still doing this. Now, the other thing that Winston Churchill said was, I never worry about action, but only inaction. Meaning, he really, really cares about the things that aren't being done, because that's what's really going to hurt you. It's not the things that you are doing. The action's going to take care of itself. It's the inaction that is going to creep up and bite you in the rear end. It's just what it is. And then also Benjamin Franklin. I love Benjamin Franklin and his quotes. If you haven't watched the episode on 13 virtues and how to kind of improve your own personal ethic, go in the videos area and go check that out. It's a really good episode. But he says, never confuse motion with action. And when he says never confuse motion with action, because picture a car, right? You've got a car, it's stuck in the mud, and the wheels are spinning, and mud is flying everywhere. And if you've ever been stuck in mud, you kind of know what that sounds like. You got that thudding underneath your car, and you got mud splattered up on the side of your car, and then you kind of get out, and everything's messy and dirty, and it just looks nasty. Well, that's a lack of plan, and that's just motion without any work being done. And if you feel like in your life that you're doing a lot of things, but you're never really getting anywhere, well, you're doing a lot of motion. You're doing a lot of stuff, but it's not geared towards your goals. It's just the things that you got to do, and you're constantly stuck in the same cycle. You know, you're this hamster on the little wheel in the cage, and you just run around. You're going to get tired. You're going to get burnt out, but you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything. And that's why I love the actual definition of work, because that definition of work right now, I want you to picture in your mind, even if you're like, say, wherever you're sitting, look over next to you. If there's a wall, take a look at that wall and press on that wall as hard as you can. And if you can move the wall, well, then you did work. If you cannot move the wall, well, then you just created a lot of energy and effort into something that achieved nothing. You didn't do anything. You didn't take action. But if you're, picture whatever it is. If you're sitting on the couch and you've got a drink in front of you on the coffee table, pick that drink up and move it to the left. Well, if you successfully did that, now you did work. Something got done. Action happened. And you need to take that same principle into everything else that you're doing. So you make sure you are taking the actions. Now, the Bible also says, ask and I tell you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. So the door is already open. The door is already there. You just got to walk through it. You just have to take action. If you stand on the other side of that door, and if you look at the graphic on the screen right now, you see everybody else walking by you, right? Everybody else in life is taking action. They're moving from one point to another point. They're getting after their goals, and you are stuck on the other side of that. And it's not until you decide to walk through that door and get out there and start talking to people and start taking action and start accomplishing your goals. Start getting after it. You can't make excuses. You have to get it done. Once you do that, then you're going to start to see a huge difference in your life and whatever it is. So that's kind of what I offer up to you. The last thing I'm going to close with this is pain is a powerful motivator. When you're tired of being in the same place with no results, then you're going to take action. When something happens, right, and then it just becomes, oh, that hurts, then you will take action. So picture the stove, right? You get the stove, it's hot, you put your hand on it. You're going to move your hand because it hurts. It's a painful situation. Until that happens to you, you're going to still be stuck. And here is the worst case scenario, which I think majority of the people are in right now in this day and age. I don't know if you've ever heard this analogy or this story before, but it's true. So reptiles are cold-blooded. If you take a frog and you stick it in a pot of water that is room temperature and that frog is room temperature, that frog is going to stay in that pot because it's comfortable. It's not going to want to move around. It's very comfortable. It's okay being in that environment. But if you take that pot, you put it on the stove, and you slowly turn up the heat over time, and you warm up that water, anyone on the outside looking in knows, like, oh, that frog is going to get cooked. And he's going to die, and someone's going to probably come by and eat it and get some frog legs. But that frog is complacent. It's happy being where it is. It doesn't know the environment around it is dangerous because it's happy being in the environment it's in. And that's you. You are happy being in the environment that you're in, and you're slowly being cooked alive and killed by your complacency, right? Now, if you were the frog on the outside that was boiling hot and you get tossed in, that frog is going to hop right out because it's like, oh, out, painful, nope, don't like this. But the problem is that we've been conditioned to stay in an environment and be complacent, be happy with where we are. You definitely need to be happy in the present moment. Completely say that. But you also need to be striving towards your goals, getting better tomorrow than you are today. And if you're just happy getting up in the morning, taking a shower, eating the same breakfast you've been eating every single day, going to work, eating lunch at the same place, or eating lunch at your same desk that you've been working at, coming home, doing the same routines. If you're happy with that and you're like, you know what, I'm good, I don't need to do anything else, well, then you're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to have any growth. You're not going to move until something more painful comes along and snaps you out of it. So I just want to close with that in mind. So if you got any value out of this live, if you could like and subscribe, and in the comments or in the chat box, please let me know one thing that you're going to get after your goals this week. And if you type something in there, I'll take a look at it, and then I'll go ahead and in a week, I'll respond back to you and ask you how it went, because I legitimately care how it went for you. And I legitimately want to help you hold yourself accountable for doing the things that you say you are going to do. So, you got this. It's Monday. You got a couple hours before you go to bed or actually fall asleep. Think about what you're going to do tomorrow. And then tomorrow, take action. Let's go out there and get after it. Let's do something. Let's go.
Take action! Lock it down! 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 Lock it. Lock it down! Lock it, lock it, lock it down! Lock it down! Lock it, lock it, lock it down! Take action! Take action! Take action! Take action! I'm impossible to impress. Send the checks to my new address. Paid in full, I got no stress. This isn't personal, it's business. Man,
I bleed for it. My blood looks like sweet glory. My sweat is equity, never paid a bean for it. No backs on my seats, I only lean forward. Haven't left the studio in 5 days, that's endurance.
get that money and stay dirty. Don't call me lucky. No, it's not always sunny. Boots get bloody.
Go hard or go home.